Hello and welcome to Gozali on Prudent Media. Today I have with me Leena, director of Sengadal, the movie which will be featured in Indian Panorama. Let us talk to her and know about her struggle to get this movie on screen. Leena, welcome to our Gozali. How is it feeling to be in Goa for Iffi?
It's feeling good. Like I've come to Goa as a college student, and again to come to Goa for an international film festival with a film really feels good. Yes.
The film, your film, it has, I think you may have not faced a lot of problems when you were shooting it, but then to get it on screen, you had to, literally fight with everybody. How was that phase?
No, even making of the film wasn't so easy because it's a people participatory work, and it's in a very difficult location like Dhanushkodi, which is a small piece of island in the Park Strait, in the border shores of India and Sri Lanka. And the fishermen live there, live a very fearful life, in the constant patrolling of Indian Navy, police, Qbrand, CBCID. And when they venture into sea, they're not sure whether they'll come back alive, because there is a history of racist Sri Lankan Navy shooting them dead for no reasons. So, and also it's a place where the influx of refugees is so heavy for the past 30 years. So refugees day in and day out come from Sri Lanka fleeing for their life. So this film is a documentation of time, of how these people, are capable to live in the midst of so much of violence. So the cast was the community, the fishermen, the refugees, the public, only form the cast of the film. So they have never faced camera before. So it was quite difficult to make this film, and also getting permissions in the locations because it's under vigilance always, and it's in the border shores. It's a very sensitive area. So even shoot the film with the community in these kind of locations was very difficult, and production wise, it was almost impossible to do that. But it took a year, and you finished the film. And after that, it gets banned by CBFC for reasons like it is critical of Indian government, it's critical of Sri Lankan government, because that's the truth. Both the governments have betrayed their people. The Sri Lankan government betrayed Tamils in Sri Lanka, and that's why they flee as refugees to India. And Indian government has betrayed Indian Tamil fishermen because they go into the sea and they get killed and nobody asks about it. So when we document the truth, CBFC is not going to allow your film. So they banned the film for these reasons, and also they found the dialect used by the fishermen as unparliamentary. So that's how they banned the film. Again, by appealing to appellate tribunal, it took some several months of legal struggle, and in the last July, the film got cleared, and that's how it's here in Indian Panorama. Now being selected in Indian Panorama, I think the film will get its due attention, and also the issue will reach a lot of people and the concerned authorities, and there will be intervention. And I hope the situations in the border shores improve.
Even getting this film in Indian Panorama was not easy for you. Is that true?
It wasn't. It wasn't because it's not a run-of-the-mill film, and it doesn't make any compromises in voicing people's mind and what they think, and you should watch the film. It's 100% critical of the state, because we just show what is there, and there is no compromise on what we wanted to film or highlight. So yeah.
The issue which you have taken, the issue which you have highlighted, has never been highlighted. There are a lot of Tamil movies, but I don't think any of the Tamil movies have actually focused on this issue. And there's a lot of rebel groups which have been formed in these areas and which are, actually termed as terrorists. Are they really terrorists?
Yeah, when Bhagat Singh was holding weapons for India's freedom, he was branded terrorist. See, people are people. They just want to live their life. And when you deny their right to live their right to live their life peacefully, they take weapons and they rebel, because it is that basic right to live. Why people rebel? If you oppress them, they rebel. Otherwise, like, everyone wants to live their life peacefully. So rebels, like for a nation state, rebels are always a threat. So they term them as terrorists. But the methods used, violent methods, like suicide bombing, and I'm critical about it. But still, we can't deny the cause and the factors which made them rebels. We have to address that. If we don't understand that, we won't address that. Without addressing that, you can't keep killing them. So you will have to understand why they've become rebels, and you have to have a dialogue with them and try and intervene and solve the issue. It's not like when you keep on treating them as terrorists and use when state uses violent methods, you won't call it as state terrorism. When ordinary people rebel, you call them terrorist. So yeah, I mean, we have to look into the situations objectively, and and things can only be solved by dialoguing. Things can't be solved if state takes up violence, or if people, the rebel groups take up violence. It's like we can only solve it by dialogues. And I think the defeat of Tamil rebels in Sri Lanka is an example. I mean, and we have lots of lessons to learn. And post globalization, the nation states are not just single states. India is not just India. It's like, there are many states involved, and there are many multinational corporations involved, and there is something called investment, and investments are all happening, like corporations are buying lands right, left and center, and they also buy people. And they don't want when they want to buy this, they're not going to care about anything. They will demolish the building, and they don't care about culture, or they don't care about the people of this land, or they don't care about this history of this building. They will just demolish it, and they will do investments. So that's the reality. And rebellion groups have their own reasons to be that. But how to solve it is totally a different approach. And I mean, both states, Sri Lankan and Indian states, and geopolitically other states, have betrayed people, and people rebelled it, and now they have oppressed them, and they have they finished them. But this is not a natural state. There is a tension within, and it can any time blast.
It is very easy to be out of something and say blame that thing, but then you have been into that place. Normally the so-called normal filmmakers wouldn't go into that area and shoot this film. So was it difficult for you? Were you at the back of your mind scared about the whole scenario or the whole place? Because there are a lot of normally what happens, any good thing or anything, there are a lot of bad things that are spread more about it. So were you scared of going into that place and shooting this film?
So in front of the fear which the community goes through, the fear they go through, the risk they go through, what I went through is nothing. It's nothing. And also I should, and honestly to tell you, an independent filmmaker's life is not different from a fisherman's life. And they go to sea, I mean, if they have a catch, they have a catch. Or if there is a wind, or if there is a storm, they they go missing. And if there is an Indian Navy to shoot them, they are getting killed. Independent filmmaker go out to the streets, they go, and if they can shoot, they can shoot. If a writers group can come and stop them, you can't shoot, they can't shoot. And the police can come and arrest them and confiscate the tapes. And it has happened to me. So fisherman's life is not, or an independent filmmaker's life is not any more different from fisherman's life. So the failures of fishermen is also a failure of a filmmaker. And there is a filmmaker character throughout the film who constantly want to document the truth and who constantly get harassed by the police. The same thing, fishermen, they just want to go and fish for the next meal, but they're constantly harassed by the agencies of state. So there is a parallel, in both the lives. And that's what I'm trying to bring out in the film. You should watch the film to, understand that. So, but I constantly felt, even though I struggled, I constantly felt what we all go through is nothing before what these, people go through. See, when they go like as a team, 5 people, one person dies or something happens, some casualty happen. The other 4 people have to, proceed and go fishing. Then only they'll have the next meal. So our lives are nothing. The challenges we face are nothing before what they face.
Now we are saying India is developing. We have a lot of investments. We have a lot of multinational companies who are creating jobs. Is all this development reached these areas? Have is it in any way affected their life, changed their life for better?
I'm anti-development. Development can only happen on the heads of people. They smash the subaltern, and that's how development happened in this country.